So guys, there's a comment I've seen on one of my recent posts, and I want us to read it together and read a reply because it's sense. It's sense. Imebeba sense, yani it makes sense. Wacha tuone. So Nishi ameandika watu watashinda wakiongelea hizi story na ndio gava inataka. But kile watu hawajui is things are about to get worse. Hakuna hata IEBC. So trust me, mambo ni 10 bila break. Petras akamwambia mnamaanisha ngaji hakuna IEBC. See those people are recruited. She akamwambia temporary. We should have a functional IEBC. That's why unaona hakuja kuwa na elections place kunafaa kukuwa nazo. Unajua kuna place hakuna MPs, time ya kumake IEBC ishaisha. Hata elections zikiwa saa hizi zitakuwa illegal. We are in a pit. We are in a corner. We are wewe guy.
There'll be no elections in 2027. Okay, there's a video going around of a very intelligent woman, and I say this with all due respect, of her saying that there'll be no elections in 2027 based on the chaos, and the more chaos we cause and the more issues we're causing, then it means we will not actually go into elections in 2027. Now, I do have Constitution, I think, a bit of knowledge of it. Anyone who's more better in the Constitution can come and please correct me and the rest of us. Now, let's look at what she was talking about. She was talking about IEBC and elections. Two things. That because there will be no IEBC, there is no IEBC, there will be no elections. Can we talk about the Constitution? Is there IEBC in the Constitution? Yes, it is there. Let's start there. I'm taking everyone slowly, including a Genz who might not really understand what we're talking about here. Is there IEBC? Yes. There's a part of the Constitution in Article 88(1) that talks about IEBC. And it talks about it being present and how important it is. And it just acknowledges that IEBC is supposed to be there. We are done with that part, okay? So IEBC has to be there. Now, let's go down to elections. What do we know about the elections as per the Constitution? Constitution clearly states in Article 136(2)(a), it says that after every 5 years, the second Tuesday of August, okay, elections have to be carried out. So, we basically know as per the Constitution that 10th August 2027, the Constitution locks this date down, that there has to be elections and the Constitution protects it. Now, I normally think that the only thing that can can either rebate or debate this should be Article 146. Okay? That is what I think. And that talks about the death and I don't know, whatevering of the president and all these other things. All right? Okay, so that date is locked down. And I don't think it can just be snapped and disappeared unless there's a constitutional amendment that went on without us knowing, which I don't think so, because it's a whole process. All right? Now, let's talk about what I think she's talking about here, IEBC and the importance. Because she's actually making a very valid point here. IEBC is very important and why it is important that for it to be carried out earlier. But wait, before that, there's something I have in my head. The Constitution has a timeline. Don't get me wrong. There is a timeline she's talking about. And the only timeline I'm having in my head right now is the boundary review that the IEBC is supposed to do. Do you know what a boundary review is? A boundary review is where the IEBC, that body, okay, is supposed to go and look at the boundaries and wards and constituencies and say, this one has too many people, this one has less people and stuff like that. I'm explaining it in layman's language so that everybody understands what a boundary review is. Now, it does have a timeline. And that's in Article 89(2). It states that a boundary review should not be carried out earlier than 8 years and not later than 12 years. Now, the last boundary review that we had was in 2012 when we were told about 290 constituents and 1450 wards and stuff like that. So, plus 12, 2024. This was supposed to be done last year, 2024. Now, that has a timeline. You see, and it does have like another deadline. It has a timeline and a deadline. The deadline is 12 months before the elections. That's the deadline for a boundary review. And it is very important because people have moved. People move. You went and lived with your boyfriend and probably you're giving birth to kids. You went and got married somewhere else and stuff like that. So, you know how we've been talking about decentralization and stuff like that. More people in Nairobi now and stuff. So, a boundary review is very important. And that's not the only thing as to why boundary reviews are important. Also, voting is very important when it comes to boundary review. No, boundary review is very important, sorry, when it comes to voting. Because there is probably an MP in Turkana with 20,000 people. And there's an MP in Nairobi with 300,000 people. Now, all votes have to be fairly counted and stuff like that. It's meaties and gritties are there. But a boundary review is very important. Okay? Now, that has not been done, as per my knowledge. Okay? And the deadline for this should be August now 2026, next year. And it hasn't been done. And that's not the only thing that IBC is supposed to be doing. IBC is supposed to be looking at the technology and the tech things that it's supposed to use, and hiring people like you and me to go and help with the voting process and training the KMEs things, all that. So based on the advice that has been there, because normally reports are done after elections. Now, based on the 2017-2022 reports by things like EU, ELOG, 2 years before the elections is really good for all these processes to be done. Now, she's saying IBC has not yet been formed, which is true. Actually, as per my knowledge, I'm going to say that again, it has not been formed. Okay? So, all these things have not been done yet. So, when are we going to do a boundary review? When are we going to look at the tech? When are we going to... You see? And when all this is not done, if IBC is formed very chap like this, and people just vote and stuff like that, there's a lot of chaos, which is actually talking about. And elections would actually be subject to things like court hearings and being challenged by other people and stuff like that. And it takes us way back. So that is the only deadline I think and know the Constitution should be talking about, and is actually there in the Constitution. Okay, that is Article 89, as I already told you. Now, could this be coming, the 2-year deadline, I'm just asking, could it be coming from the reports from EU, ELOG, and how in the past years that we've been doing this, things have been done 2 years before? That could be it. Or is there something else that we might not actually be knowing? Because I don't think that in August 10th, 2027, my finger will not be marked. It's just... Do you get where I'm coming from? Am I making sense? I need to understand where all this is coming from, because again, I could be wrong. So, what's up? I think knowledge is very nice.
There's this thing I've been seeing from Willis Otieno, who is a lawyer, arguing that Kenya should hold the general elections in August 2026. Initially, I had thought he was very wrong. But on looking at the issue for the second time, I think Willis has a point. And maybe to check on that, we need to do our own analysis on what the Constitution says about when we should hold the next general elections. Article 101 of the Constitution, subsection 1, provides that a general election of members of Parliament shall be held on the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year. You have to note a few very, very important things in that Article 101, subsection 1, that the general election should be held on Tuesday, that's number 1, on the second Tuesday of August. That means the second Tuesday of August in every 5th year. That means that second Tuesday of August has to be inside the 5th year. And when it goes to the election of the president, the Constitution further provides in Article 136, subsection 2, that an election of the president shall be held on the same day as a general election of members of Parliament, being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year, or in the circumstances contemplated in Article 146. Maybe that provides further, just in case maybe the president, the office of the president becomes vacant. But our focus on this is the second Tuesday of August every 5th year. Okay, in my case, maybe we need to check specifically when we start the first year, the second year, third year, fourth year, and 5th year. If I check my calendar, given that we had elections on 9th of August 2022, that means that the first day from which we start counting our first year. That year will end on 8th August 2023. The second year will start on 9th August 2023 and will end in 8th August 2024. The third year will start on 9th August 2024 and will end on 8th August 2025. The fourth year will start on 9th August 2025 and will end on 9th August 2026. The fifth year, from which we are told that the election must be held, will start on 9th August 2026 and will end on 8th August 2027. That means anything beyond 8th August 2027 will be on the sixth year, and not the fifth year that is provided in the Constitution. Now, given the Constitution states that election must be held on the second Tuesday of August every fifth year, I want us to check whether we have that day in 2027, because allegedly elections should be held in 2027. To do that, we have to, number one, you have to understand that the fifth year starts from 9th August 2026 to 8th August 2027. So we have to go to that month of August and check whether we have a second Tuesday in that month in which we should be holding our elections. If we check on that month, which I've placed above here, is that the first Tuesday of August 2027 it will be on 3rd. The second Tuesday of August in 2027 will be 10th August. That means it will be outside the fifth year. That will be the sixth year. So that means if you hold elections on 10th August 2027, we will be holding elections outside what the Constitution provides. Given that we have shown that 2027 does not have a second Tuesday that falls within the fifth year, we have to look at that into another year. And this one is why it is more important now. When does the fifth year start and when does it end? Adela said that the fifth year starts on 9th of August 2026 and it ends on 8th of August 2027. So if we go back and look at our calendar for August 2026, number one, you realize that the first Tuesday of August 2026 will appear on 4th of August 2026. That will fall on the fourth year. But there is this second Tuesday of August 2026, which is date 11 August 2026. If you go back and check on when our fifth year starts on 9th August 2026. And in that same year, we have 11th August 2026. That means the correct date on which a general election should be held is on 11th August 2026. That is the second August. That is the second Tuesday. That's the second Tuesday of August that falls within the fifth year. I was trying to analyze this and I found that Willis Otieno had a very, very convincing argument, and maybe we need an interpretation in this, because if these elections is held in 2027, specifically on 10th August 2027, which falls that means what Willis Otieno has been saying is very correct. The elections should be held on 11th August 2026 and not 2027. And if there's one important thing he has always insisted on, is that there's nowhere in the Constitution that it says the president should serve 5 years in office. The Constitution only provides that the president serves until the next until when the next president is sworn in. And the next president can only be sworn in if there's an election, which the constitution is very, very explicit on when it should be held. Thank you.
Mesikia vibaya, jo tumelia, na nasema one time siku zote, one time jo jeshi ni ground.
I find that the more crooked you are in the Kenyan political arena, the quicker you succeed. I don't know why. They don't, and I say the electorate seem to want these tainted people. I don't know what's wrong with them. If they have a chance to choose somebody who's straight, who's on the surface of it looks reasonably straight, they're not interested. They want these ones that lie to them, these ones that cheat them, these ones that run. Provided he has bags of money to spread around, they're quite happy.
No, do any one time.
Ni kweli one time.
Bila nimeongea hivi, tunajua kesho huo nyako na hapo atauliwa, lakini round hii tumetanuka akili, wajua ametufungua macho. Iko hivi. Nikiuliwa, ajua wewe kila mtu amekumana. Ni maji. Unatusumbua sana. Hapa hivyo.
The truth of the matter is that the legacy politicians are uncomfortable with this, because when Kenyans are coming out in these numbers that you're witnessing, Kenyans are not coming out organized or mobilized by any legacy politician. They are not championing a political party cause. They are championing the people's issue. It is now about us. It's not about legacy politicians that we are saying we are demonstrating because of this political party. We are demanding for accountability for the benefit of all Kenyans. This makes legacy politicians uncomfortable because these are new terrain. Normally they are used to dividing Kenyans along tribal lines, so Kabila hii na Kabila hii. Then you say we are going to pit tribes against each other, we go to elections. This one now is different. This one now is about accountability. This is about good governance. This is about making the country to make sense to everybody. It's about the economy. Why do we have a situation where many of our qualified young people don't have jobs? Those who even had jobs are losing them. And yet the cost of living is increasing. It's a state of hopelessness. So this regime, and the Standard actually has captured it very well, this is a rogue regime. We are now dealing with a criminal state. They cannot claim to be our leaders, because leadership is supposed to be a subtotal of the people. And if the people are now out here united in one accord to fight for good governance, then the opposition can only mean they are not a summation of who we are.
Nataka kuambia serikali, unaona hii gari iko hapa mbele imebeba tank. Hiyo ni gas iko hapo ndani. Tightly sealed. Na umeandikiwa hapo danger, no smoking. Sasa sira yetu sisi kama wa Kenya ni hii gas imefungiwa kwa hii tanki. Unaona? Tafadhali 2027 accept your fate, go home, kwa sababu kura nayo hakuna mtapata. Lakini mkijaribu kusmoke kura zetu tutalipuka. Waswahili wanasema wengi wape, usipowapa watajichukulia. Ile hasira tuko nayo kama wa Kenya ni hii tanki. Usione ati imetulia hapo imebebwa, ikilipuka hiyo it will cause a lot of damage. And that is the damage we will cause as Kenyans if you try to smoke our votes in 2027. Nendene nyumbani tu, masies wote, most of the governors, president na deputy wako wa soprano, babafua, kila, just nendeni tu home. Jua sira yetu ni hii. Yani italipuka kushinda ile blast imelipua ile nyumba Mombasa jana. So don't.
I am not a statesman. I am a conman. I always threaten to be president, but my intention is not to win. I am after handshakes and deals with government. I am a traitor.
Hey CJ, what do you have to tell young people?
Young people, please make sure that you have registered. And when the registration of voters comes, let everyone register. Let everyone register. That is the most important thing I can tell you as of now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nyamisa, what do you think?
I agree with you. Make sure you have your ID and make sure you're registered as a voter.
Exactly.
Register as a voter, as CJ has said.
Thank you.
Ruto must go. What is Ruto going to tell us? How is Ruto giving anybody hope? Ruto already is, even his own people don't want him. You the Kenyan people, you're not the type, and you would call your leader out. It's your Ruto, it's Kasongo that we are after.
Yeah,
not the Kenyans. We love the Kenyans. We know the Kenyans have morals. Yes, our Kasongo. Yes. Your Kasongo is the one that we have an issue with. I love you guys, you Kenyans. You guys have morals.
Kenya kunaendelea kuharibika. Najua Samoei kuna vile cheki anatry kuchange rules. Jiulize hii swali. Tafakari ya babu. Na ya babu ni haya. If you're a president and you know that there's an election in 2 years time, would you, if you're not sure of coming back, would you repair your office for 2 billion shillings? Would you repair State House for 2 billion shillings? That's a total of 4 billion shillings. If you're not 100% sure that you're coming back. Yes? The reason I keep doing this, this person is planning to use all methods to come back. So it's up to us to make sure that tumetokea sisi wote. Tokea. Make sure anyone who will be 18 by that time ametokea. Make sure the gap is so big that hata Sudi jua tampigia jua mwambia Yamune! Ekonene.
And don't buy into the political rhetoric of trying to divide you into tribes.
Yes.
Our problems are not tribal. There's no Kikuyu problem, there's no Kalenjin problem, there's no Luo problem, there's no Somali problem. There's no Kamba problem.
Yes.
Shift share knows no tribe. The university funding model knows no tribe.
Yeah.
Joblessness knows no tribe. All these problems that we point out, they do not know any tribe.
Walai kwa national anthem yetu mzima, line tu moja tu ndio ina make sense sahi. Mungu nguvu yetu. Hiyo peke yake. Hizi zingine zote hadi tuishi na undugu, amani na uhuru. Hakuna
uhuru siku hizi na sisi.
Uhuru hata hizi na sisi hata tulipotokanga, amani hakuna, undugu hakuna, siku hizi mandugu ni mandugu. Yaani hakuna ati
na upendo.
Ati raha tupate na ustawi. Raha gani watu mtaani wanapata raha na matawi? Ustawi hakuna. Ati tushikane mikono pamoja kazini. Watu wana kazi. Ati sijui may we dwell in unity. Sasa tuna dwell in poverty. Sasa hakuna sasa ni kungori. Hakuna kitu yenye ati plenty be found within our borders.
Hakuna plenty.
Watu wanavuka border wakihepa.
Wakienda kutafuta hizo plenty huko.
Wakienda kutafuta plenty huko. Hakuna hata kitu hata mmoja kwa hiyo national anthem yenyewe. Sasa hii tunaishi nayo. Hakuna.
Wakisema one time tunawaambia nini? Tunawaambia nini? Tunawaambia nini?
One term is real, one term is unstoppable, and no violence. We need peace, but one term is real. Hii hata Mungu ameweka sahihi. Hii kampuni ya profesa na dokta sio ni ikiwaka. Hata mtoe pesa ngapi, mshuke juu, mshuke chini, muende kando, muende katikati. Hii one time is real. Asi machezo.
Saizi nguvu imebaki ni ya maandamano peke yake, si ndio? Akitaka kwenda unamuitishia Uber chap. Hakuna kubembeleza punda kwa mteremuko. Mwambie
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.